I'm sitting here on my 80th birthday, and there's something I need to tell you before it's too late. Something I wish someone had told me when I was your age. Last week I found an old journal from when I was 25, full of dreams, plans, things I was going to do someday. You know what hit me? Most of those dreams never happened. Not because I couldn't do them, but because of one devastating mistake I kept making for decades. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to share what that mistake was, because I see you making it right now, and it's breaking my heart. But first, let me take you back to where this all started. It was 1968. I was 23 years old, standing in my father's hospital room. He was 52, heart attack, completely unexpected. And as I held his hand, he looked at me with tears in his eyes and said something that haunted me for years. I never got to. He never finished that sentence. He was gone 3 days later. I stood at his funeral thinking, that won't be me. I'm going to live differently. I'm going to seize every opportunity. I'm going to make every moment count. Here's the thing though, I was lying to myself, and I didn't even know it. Fast forward 5 years. I'm 28, working a job I hate, telling myself it's temporary. Just for a few more years, I'd say. Just until I save enough money. Just until. My best friend calls me one Saturday. Let's take that road trip to California we always talked about. Let's do it this summer. You know what I said? I can't right now. Maybe next year when things settle down. Next year came. Things never settled down. And that trip? We never took it. Because 6 months later he moved across the country for work, got married, had kids. Life happened. The window closed. But I still had that excuse ready. When things settled down. Then something happened that changed everything. It was 2003. I'm 58 years old. My daughter sits me down and says, "Dad, I got accepted to study abroad in Italy for a year. I leave in 2 months." And my immediate reaction? Panic. 2 months? That's so soon. Maybe you should wait. There's always next year. You're so young, you have plenty of time. She looked at me, really looked at me, and said something that shattered me. "Dad, you've been saying wait and there's plenty of time your whole life. I don't want to end up like that." I felt like someone punched me in the stomach, because she was right. That night, I couldn't sleep. I started writing down all the things I'd postponed, all the some days and when I have time and after I retire. The list was 3 pages long. Learning guitar, writing that book, traveling to Japan, taking dance classes with my wife, starting that business, reconnecting with my brother after our stupid fight, telling my kids certain stories, being vulnerable with the people I love. 3 pages of unlived life. And I was 58 years old. The hard truth hit me like a freight train that night. I had been treating time like it was infinite, like there would always be a better moment coming, like later was guaranteed. Here's what nobody tells you when you're young. Later doesn't exist. There is no perfect moment. There is no when things settle down. There is no magical future date when everything aligns perfectly. There is only now, and a series of nows that turn into your entire life before you even realize it's happening. I spent 40 years waiting for the right time. You know what I was actually doing? I was spending my life. Because time isn't something you save, it's something you spend. Every single day, whether you like it or not, you're spending it. The question is, are you spending it on what actually matters? Let me tell you what happened after that night in 2003. I decided to stop waiting. Not tomorrow, not next week, that very week. I called my brother. We hadn't spoken in 7 years over something so stupid I can't even remember what started it. I swallowed my pride, picked up the phone and said, "I miss you. I'm sorry. Can we fix this?" We fixed it. And you know what? We had 15 more beautiful years together before he passed last year. 15 years I almost threw away because I was too proud, too stubborn, too busy waiting for him to call first. I signed up for guitar lessons. At 58 years old, with arthritis starting in my hands. My teacher was 19. Did I look ridiculous? Probably. Did I care? Not anymore. I booked tickets to Japan with my wife. We'd been planning that trip for 30 years. 30 years of let's do it next year. We finally went. And it was everything I dreamed of and more. But here's the thing that really got me. I started writing that book I'd been thinking about since I was 25. A book about my father, about his generation, about the stories that were disappearing. Guess when I finished it? last year, at 79 years old. And yes, part of me thinks, why did I wait so long? I could have written 10 books by now. But you know what the bigger tragedy would have been? Dying with that book still inside me. Dying with my father's stories untold. Dying with that dream still on my someday list. Now, I want to tell you something, and I need you to really hear this. I'm 80 years old. I've lived a long life by most standards. And when I look back, you know what I regret? Not the things I did. Even the mistakes, the failures, the embarrassing moments. I don't regret those. Those taught me something. Those were part of my story. What I regret are the things I didn't do because I was waiting. The conversations I didn't have because I thought there would be time later. The risks I didn't take because I was too scared. The love I didn't express because I was too proud. The experiences I postponed because they weren't practical or sensible. Here's something they don't show you in movies. Your life doesn't flash before your eyes when you're dying. It's not dramatic like that. Instead, it's the quiet moments that haunt you. The Tuesday afternoon you spent scrolling instead of calling your friend. The Sunday you were too tired to go to your kid's game. The thousands of little laters that became nevers. My friend John died 2 years ago at 78, healthy his whole life. Then boom, diagnosis. Gone in 3 months. You know what he said to me in one of our last conversations? I have a bucket list of 47 things. I was waiting to retire to start it. I retired at 65. That was 13 years ago. I've done 3 things on that list. 3. I spent 13 years waiting for the right time to start living the life I wanted. 13 years of retirement. Still waiting. For what? This is the hard truth I learned too late. You think you have time, but you don't. Not because you're going to die young necessarily, but because life moves faster than you think. Because the people you love won't always be here. Because your body won't always let you do the things you can do now. Because opportunities have expiration dates you can't see. I can't surf anymore. My knees won't let me. I always wanted to learn. Someday, I said. Now someday is never. I can't travel like I used to. My wife has health issues. We had a list of 15 countries. We made it to 3. The other 12? They're not going to happen now. But here's what I want you to understand, and this is important. I'm watching my grandkids now, and they ask me about regrets. You know what I tell them? I regret the times I chose comfort over growth. I regret the times I chose safety over meaning. I regret the times I chose later over now. But here's the beautiful thing. Every single day I wake up, I get another chance. At 80, I still have choices. I can still call someone I love. I can still write. I can still create. I can still matter. I can still live, really live, not just exist. If I can do it at 80, you can do it at whatever age you are right now. Last month I did something I'd been scared to do for 60 years. I went to an open mic night and played guitar. In front of strangers. At 80 years old. My hands shook. I missed notes. I wasn't perfect, but I did it. And when I finished, this young woman, couldn't have been more than 30, came up to me with tears in her eyes and said, "Thank you. I needed to see that. I've been too scared to try." That's when I realized, it's never too late to start, but it's also never too early to begin living intentionally. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Think about one thing you've been postponing, one conversation, one dream, one risk, one expression of love, one thing you've been telling yourself someday about, and do it. Take one step toward it. Make one phone call, write one paragraph, have one honest conversation, book one ticket. Because I promise you, the older you get, the more you'll realize. The biggest risk isn't failure. The biggest risk is reaching the end and realizing you never really started. I'm 80 years old, and if I've learned anything in 8 decades on this planet, it's this. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't pause while you wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't slow down because you're not ready. It just keeps moving, keeps spending, keeps running out. The question is, what are you going to do with what's left? Because I don't know how much time you have. Neither do you. None of us do. But I know this. You have today. You have right now. You have this moment. Don't waste it waiting for a better one. The truth is, this might be the sign you've been waiting for. This might be the push you needed. This might be the moment that changes everything. but only if you let it. Only if you stop treating your life like something that starts later and realize it started the day you were born and it's happening right now, this very second, whether you're present for it or not. So please, I'm begging you as someone who spent too many years waiting, stop postponing your life. That conversation you need to have it. That dream you keep pushing aside, start it. That person you need to forgive them. That risk you're too scared to take it. Not someday, today. Because someday isn't a day of the week. Someday is the lie we tell ourselves to avoid living right now. And one day, when you're sitting where I am, looking back on your life, I want you to have fewer regrets than I do. I want you to say, I lived. I really lived. I didn't wait. I didn't postpone. I showed up for my one beautiful, brief, unrepeatable life. That's the hard truth 80 years taught me. That's what I wish someone had told me before it was too late. Now I'm telling you. What you do with it is up to you.